learn marketing tips. I think she came in and she is gone now. I saw her there at the
Hi sir.
Hi.
Amit here.
Hi.
I'm running a venture sir for women's hygiene.
Okay.
That helps women to stay away from infections.
Okay. That's something with that.
That's it. Be safe. It's a sanitizer. That's a spray.
You're selling covers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this. I in fact used that when I was traveling to Hong Kong.
How was your experience?
I think it is very helpful. On the planes you have that available technology.
Planes definitely. I also
The train and all that you have to
IRCTC normally offers.
That's where the mask is. I think it's part of selling it through the on the radio station.
Absolutely, sir. But need to the supply chain for that.
I can do this. And actually help small entrepreneurs, businesses to grow and scale.
This is your venture.
Yeah.
Okay. So based on all this issues.
No, I'm not a speaker.
So your expertise in this one supply chain.
And managing. So scaling up operation. So because good idea. And I knew it myself.
This is the right time.
No, I don't. I was just going to say.
So, whatever I
I'm sorry, everyone. I had an 11 o'clock letter. I know. It was supposed to be 11 and then moved to 12 and then, 12 moved to 12:30.
I'm sorry. So, when I can give you a call,
Hi guys, welcome.
so nice to
We are starting a new session. This is Cynthia Wong, right? And she's going to give you some interesting tips and information about her topic, which is marketing tips for initiating new events in communities. Thank you, Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Hold the photograph for just a minute.
Okay. Thank you, and again, apologies for being so late. Just ran down from the stage upstairs. So I wanted to kind of keep it brief. I know that if you guys have been here, I don't know if you've been here just for today or later part of the week or the whole week. We've had a lot of talks. So I'll share a little bit about me, and I want to make it interactive because that's actually what I like doing. I'm more of like a facilitator versus a speaker. I speak while I facilitate. So a little bit about me. Yeah, I'm sure my photo was not there, but that's okay. So I'm from the U.S. and I'm not in school. I've had a number of people ask me that. I think it was my Chinese genes that was a little bit younger. But I'm still from the U.S. I'm from Chicago. And when I was younger, I also, like in school, I also used to lead different activities and facilitate for different organizations or extracurriculars or just within my classes. I found myself in a facilitator role even in my first career step, which was at a marketing agency, just because I felt that not everyone was included, or if you have worked in a workplace before in a corporate setting, sometimes you just like day one dropped into the scene, you're like, okay, now this is what you do, and you're like, what's the big picture? What am I supposed to do? What does this term mean? What does that term mean? And so I started finding myself facilitating different other associates and peers on how to integrate into the workplace, into the culture, also where to learn how to do all the technical things that are required for your job. And then I moved to Malaysia about 5 years ago, And so from there, I did work at a marketing company as well. But in the meantime, I also started working and teaching refugee students and coordinating workshops for them and different events that combine them with schools and students on stage. Also, what I do now is I also teach yoga, so I'm also facilitating a group of people. And then I started just like slowly doing more and more events. And now people reach out to me for events, and I like actually helping to craft ideas. So that's where the idea for this talk came from. So the different communities I work with in Malaysia are the refugee communities and the students, and also getting them actively doing other things like sharing little films that they've done, or rock climbing, or running, stuff like that. And I also run a monthly open mic poetry spoken word music night, film screening night as well, bringing different filmmakers on stage, either from like music video production to little grassroots documentaries by students to actually full-fledged like films. What else do I do? And I run different events for, I run other people's yoga events. I'm also starting to incorporate and initiate new events for, you guys know the poet Rumi. One of my friends is super passionate about Rumi. And we're going to have like a, it was really fun kind of brainstorming what we're going to call it. Like, we should
Everyone is passionate about Rumi.
Huh?
Everyone is passionate.
That's true. Everyone loves Rumi. The oldest, most famous poet probably. And it was fun kind of crafting and brainstorming ideas for what to call it. And I'm like, we should call it A Date with Rumi. And he has to come in and be like, hi everyone, I'm Rumi. So, I don't know, stuff like that is really fun for me. But I wanted to first, so last week I can't even think about it. Oh, soon I'm going to do this like fire show and dance night 1 and 2, so I'm really excited for that. And people always ask me like, how do you wish together different things, and then like how do you go about marketing those ideas? I don't have a big budget. I don't have a budget. Usually it's like my own money, or hopefully the money we'll get from the proceeds of the night, which isn't much. So very grassroots, and that's really different from when I used to do marketing for a big client like Oracle or others, or other entrepreneurs when you actually kind of have a budget. This time it's like, no, how can we use Facebook, word of mouth, how can we partner with other startup entrepreneurs, other wellness centers, or anyone that's aligned with what you do, to make it a really fulfilling experience and uplift others as well, on perhaps zero to little budget. So from, before I kind of ask you guys if you guys can all share what you're up to, and why you're interested in this talk, maybe what events or communities you might be coordinating. I wanted to, well, let me see if I want to do that first. Yeah, just because I know you guys have been probably sitting for a little bit today, let's go around the room actually, and if you don't mind, because I think it's the coolest thing, just like in yoga, I did in all yoga classes. I think yoga is cool because I teach it, but try something new for the first time in yoga, or do practice yoga, are also really cool. It's just like something underlying all of us here is what brought us together, and I think it's always a shame we can't meet other people. So I think I would love, if you can entertain me, to go around the room and share your name, where you're from, and why you're here. Maybe you're in an event, maybe you're hoping to build a community, maybe you just like people. So if we could share, we started with me. So if we can go this way.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can have the mic as wireless.
Hi everyone, my name is sessions, so I think I look forward to taking some good tips from you.
How you call? Cynthia. Okay. I am Vikas Kera. I run a company called Thought at Work. And apart from doing business consulting for other entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized business, I also am running 2 communities. One community is into ultra running, where we have an event on world's highest motorable road in Leh Ladakh, Khardungla Pass. That's I do with a friend. That's called Laltra the High, which is 333 kilometers of run.
Oh my God.
And we have been able to attract people all around the globe in there. But the nature of run is like that. Not everyone is interested in that. But yeah, we are able to get some 35 people from different parts of the world who come and participate with their families, with their friends every year, and we are doing it for 5 years. The second community I'm running is a musical group, which is called the Mast Malals. That I created because I was feeling very bored on the weekends. And
like me then, I want live music.
Yeah.
Let's put it together.
Exactly. So I was just finding there no option other than going to pubs and bars and spend your weekends or evenings. And I never considered them very comfortable because there's no fun in going to strangers and talking to them or dancing with them. I wanted to actually enjoy my weekends with my friends and family and extended family. And that's how I created this group which was a very homely thing. You get to jam in one of the members' place, and then you bring in your guitar and drums and everything, and you're singing. And there are many people who are actually, now there are around 400 people in that group. So I have some experience on marketing, but yeah, I like to learn from you. And otherwise, I have a business called Thought at Work, where I'm consulting, doing business excellence consulting to big corporations. I've worked out of 20 countries around the globe, and been into many different roles in corporate before I started my own work.
Hi, I'm Kamakshi, and I'm from Chiri School. We all have come together. Yeah, so actually we have got an opportunity from our school to come here. So it's always good to experience our places and explore them. We always learn from them. And we being commerce students, we are interested in business and marketing.
Hi, I'm Khushi, and basically I'm studying commerce right now, and I'm really interested in entrepreneurship, so I'm here to take some tips.
Hi, I'm Vikali, and I'm also a commerce student, and I wanted to know marketing tips and learn that, so that's why I'm here.
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I'm also new in studying commerce, so I'm just to learn something new about marketing.
Hi, I'm Radhika, and I'm in class 11. So starting up with commerce, I wanted some business ideas as I'm interested in being an entrepreneur in future, so I'm here.
Hi, my name is Anirudh. I'm a lawyer, and for the past 2 years, I've been working with 100 girls in a slum in Delhi. I've been teaching them. So while working with them, I realized how important it is for their mothers who don't really work to be financially independent. So recently, I've been working on a project with the mothers where I'm trying to create employment for them. So we are trying to make paper bags and small cloth bags, which are basically good for the environment. They discourage plastic. But it's just started right now, and I'm looking for some tips to take it forward. So that's why I'm here, looking forward to your session. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Aman Verma from IT Madras. I'm a third year electrical student, and we are 80 member student of body. We run entrepreneurship cell in IT Madras. So we conduct events regarding Pitch Fest and bootstrapping events of startup ideas in IT Madras. We called upon OYO Room's CEO Ritesh Agrawal, and we find that people are not interested in entrepreneurship yet because like we're still struggling out, finding out what's the reason behind why students are not taking this as an option. So I want some marketing tips for my events which go on.
Hi everyone, my name is Supriya Sophie. I'm a journalist. I'm here because I recently moved from Mumbai to Delhi. I got married a few months ago, so this is sort of a new life. But other than what I do for work, I also enjoy a lot of live music. And like the gentleman here, I thought, maybe it would be a good idea to get a bunch of people together for live music at home. And I want to make that sustainable. So it's not just a house party that I want to throw. So I might talk to you a little later about this. But yes, that's why I'm here.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tena. I'm Croatian but based in UAE. And I'm an Indian wife, so that's my claim to fame here.
founder and CEO of a social impact consultancy, and I've been doing that for the past 6 years. But now I'm starting a masculinity school, which will not be called that, I know it's a terrible name, to re-examine kind of the relationship of boys and girls in communities and how we can make it more sustainable. And obviously it's a topic that in a lot of parts of this world is quite controversial. So I would like to know how to attract people to come to the dark side.
Hello, I'm Suman Srivastava and I'm from Bombay. I'm a Burma vacuum therapist and I work full-time in social sector. And my main area of work is healthcare and education, and I work with all kinds of spectrum, from orphan girls to school dropouts to farmers, organic farming, teaching them skills. So it's a huge spectrum of body of work, and I'm working since last 23 years. So and associated with all women's league and WEF. So that's how I'm here, and I look forward to learning something interesting and new from you.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so we have a very diverse group here. We have some events that I think, and new initiatives I think we can use as examples as well. So one of the first things about, obviously with marketing, as we know, you can have the best product or service in the world that could help and cure everyone, but if no one knows about it, it's not going to matter. So that's why marketing is important, right? But one thing that we often find, working with startups and entrepreneurs, and I used to be very involved in new tech as well, one of the things that we often find ourselves holding is that we believe that we have the best idea in the world and that everyone's going to love it. We forget to validate it. And so one thing is, whenever we're, and it doesn't necessarily mean for anything new, right? In this world, like think of what's obsolete now. I don't know, the classic example of a digital camera, not a film camera, right? A film camera has evolved, taking photos has evolved. Not anyone can take photos on their phone. Everyone's a photographer, everyone has a screen, you can make it look pretty. But what is the role of a film camera in the world now? I don't know. So that audience has shifted from the mass of those that can go take photos, go print them out, and have photos for their wall or an album, to those that use film cameras, or those who are like hardcore, die-hard film enthusiasts. So for, say, Kodak to shift their marketing towards them, it has to evolve, it has to adapt, or else they're not going to be able to survive in this world. So something that the role of a film camera is not new, but their role in the world is new. So how do they market that? For all these new apps we have, right? Like, just being a tech startup, everyone's creating a new app all the time, and it's a lot of work. There's a lot of money to build an app, to come up with a material design, to test it, everything build it for iOS, Android, and at the end of the day, it can come out and no one cares, because how many, they forget to validate, or they validate with their core group of friends, which is great. You can build an event, you can build a product or service for your circle, but if you're hoping for it to grow bigger or to touch a lot of others, you need to ask other people in the process, what do you think about this? Would you be interested in this? Because we have a very finite capacity for things like apps or for time. Our time is limited. How many, in 1 week, okay, I go to a lot of events, but on average, I'm sure most people don't go to a lot of events. Maybe go to 2 or 3 events per night, a week, or something like that. And the rest of the time they take for themselves or for their family, or for resting, or for working out, watching movies. So if someone has only a few nights a week to dedicate to some event and keep their schedule open for something that's to come, how can you capture them? Because like apps, we probably have screens of apps. We only use the ones mostly on our first screen, maybe the first half screen. The ones closest to the thumb are our most important one. And what event that you might have can become a must-do every month or every time it's out. Like how can, what event would cause others to be an ambassador to share with their friends? How can you make others work for you to do the marketing? So we'll talk about all these things. So again, coming back to value, a lot of us, whether it's directly related to school or for our career, we will go to certain events because we are interested and feel like we need to or have to or should. So if your event falls in that category, you have to make it compelling enough to appeal to those that it has to be, like, this is the event to go to. If it's a fun event, like, you have to make it compelling enough that they might get something out of it. So that's the one that you need to work more on to create the value and communicate that value. Because for something related to career path or for your line of work, it's a little bit easier. But it's for stuff like music. So we're going to use this music example because I'm very passionate about live music. I am not a musician. I'm not a poet, but I love hearing it. So I'm from the US. I live in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and compared to a lot of other big cities, Kuala Lumpur has a little bit less cultural arts scene. There's not like plays or musicals or dance performances. We barely get DJs or singers or musicians to come. And live music, there's like 2 places, and the same people that kind of rotate. And I kept hearing all the great musicians, all the great local musicians go to the US or UK, they all leave, and I'm like, no, there's like so much talent here actually. And taking this example for instance, I'm just going to walk you through the process of how I created and marketed an event called Unleashing Your Genius, which is kind of like I'm keeping it grassroots and kind of intimate. But how that idea started was like, oh man, I want to hear live music. Where do I go to hear live music? Either it's this place, which has a really high cover fee, super expensive, and you can't mingle. Or this other place, which is usually like rock, the same people that come over and over. So then one of my friends wanted to visit, and he is a spoken word artist. He's a Spanish guitarist, and he's living in Bali. And what he was saying, which is so true, is that a lot of musicians go, or a lot of keynote speakers, or a lot of, in other realms as well, teachers, go to speak at different events, but no one really cares. Because maybe if they're performing a gig, and they're singing their heart out, they're singing their original songs, people who are there just happen to be there, they just want to mingle and catch up with their friends. No one's actually paying attention. The same as just background music, and it's disheartening for them. And also, on the other side, for myself, I love hearing the story of how a musician, how a poet comes onto stage, whether they've done it for the 100th time or for the first time. It's still very beautiful and very brave for me. Or if someone's giving a speech, I want to know maybe what's the backstory, because we often just look at someone and find inspiration from them. We forget to think of them as a human. We forget, like, they also stepped on stage and were so nervous for the first time. And in the case of musicians or poets, they've also said on our stage that they are completely naked in front of people. Like, they pour their hearts out, and they created a song, and yeah, maybe no one else knows that they sing the wrong tune and play the wrong chord, but for them, they're sharing and so vulnerable. How can they have an audience that would just be warm and receptive to that? So going back to my friend Tariq, he came and wanted to actually make a little money for visiting us back because he was using his money from his own business that he was starting. And what we did was like, well, you know, like if we create one night and we ask people to come, I don't know if like we'll have enough crowd for one person. So then my friend and I started brainstorming, and we came up with this idea. Let's bring like 3 musicians there, different art forms. And then before that, let's do an open mic. And among the whole thing, let's ask them, what's their story? If you've ever heard musicians or singers give a performance or play, they often share, and the next song is about this. And this album I wrote because I was in complete depression and I needed to lift myself out of it. But what's really cool and inspiring is to hear like their story. So what we asked for this event called Unleashing Your Genius was that we had 3 performers, 2 performers at the end. They'll share their art form, whether it was speaking, dance, or music, and also share where they started and what they hope to convey with their performance or their art form. And then we had open mic speakers that maybe performed for the 2nd or 3rd time, maybe the 1st time. Also share what it was like after they performed, like how nervous they often share how nervous they were or how thankful they are to have a nice intimate little space to share with an audience that's receptive and kind. And then often every night everyone leaves with this kind of feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by their music, I can connect to their music, I can connect to others. How can I take that forward into my own life? So for me, as a teacher, what I like to also emphasize is that in these events, I have people connecting to each other. So between certain acts, I will stop and ask people, or this is part of my Yogi background, or if anyone's heard of the organization ISEC, AIESEC, also go to see all these heads. It's part of being a leader within that organization. I'm always trying to facilitate growth, maybe a little too much sometimes, but also connection as well. So in these events, in the audience, most of us are not musically talented, we just really like to hear music. I ask them to reflect, like, how did it make you feel? What thoughts evoke from you? Because we can get music and art, or speakers, especially speakers, it's easy to really kind of get lost in them and listen to them, and then leave and then just forget everything in a way. Forget all the inspiration, all the feelings that have been invoked. So I often take a moment and ask, like, how did you feel? Share with your neighbor and introduce yourself, and then later on share, like, this person spoke about fear or love or a moment of self-abuse. Like, was there ever a moment in time where you felt like down by yourself? And share that with someone. Be vulnerable. It's okay. Like, and other person can give advice or just share how they felt or just say thank you. So there's different things that I would just think of at the time based on what that author is and artist was performing or doing, and then allows the audience to capture in that moment how they feel, and also allows them to connect to someone else as well. And that's something that's really cool for events and for marketing. Everyone loves to meet people. Even if you're an introvert, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, this person is really cool. And if you don't feel that energy, you don't feel that vibe, it's okay to be like, all right, like, I'm going to talk to someone else. Or not really, not directly. But it's okay to, you know, not have to entertain someone you're just not feeling the vibe from for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's okay. You can drop that conversation. No one's forcing you into a certain conversation you don't want to be in. But everyone loves to meet people, is just what I wanted to say, even, and share your story. So at least for that, I think what I've found works. I've had a lot of event failures. I'm not saying that everything I do is like gold. I've had a lot of event failures, so I've been learning from those as well. And it's in these events where people don't take away as much as they hope, that I don't see them ever coming back. But when I hear people in the music community being like, oh, you're doing Leisure Genius? Like, I've heard about it. That's really cool. Can I perform? And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I thought it was like a really small thing, but it's cool. I've heard about it. It's because people have been able to connect to others. People have been able to like join on stage and like freestyle with others and collaborate because they're just feeling called to. I gave them the space to just come up on stage if they wanted to. So in events, I have to say the ones that leave space for people to mingle, to meet, to reflect, to connect to either because of nature or the sky or whatever, or to each other in events, or to the music, is a great way for people to come back and to share with others. Because they'll remember that feeling. Like oftentimes, even from this week, oh my gosh, I've met so many inspiring people, women, girls, even men, and I can't remember their names. Like, I'm not going. I know that when I leave this week, it's like they're still not going to remember their names. But I don't remember the feeling that I've had. And so that feeling is something that I will go to sleep and remember. I'll wake up and remember, and I'll think back to this week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so great. So remember try to identify what that feeling is that you want to leave. Not only your event or your school or your course objective, but what feelings you want to bring people to have within them and then spread to others. Okay, so given the space, open space, given room for connection. Also, in your marketing, so if you craft like a title or a tagline for your event, this comes from my years of digital marketing, you will also need to express what the benefit is, what they gain. Because if you just say, if any of you guys have heard of or watched the TED Talks, the speeches that are about marketing the what versus the how versus the why, like Apple does it really well, you'll realize that you can't just, in this day and age now, with so much noise, so much information, you can't just market the what. Like the what of the product is great. We all have a phone, great, but we don't use a phone anymore. The purpose of calling someone only. But a phone is basically everything in the world at our fingertips. All the information we need. We don't have to memorize phone numbers anymore. Oh my God, that was crazy. I don't know how we used to do that. We don't have to remember hotel reservations, or we don't have to remember who said what when your meeting is, or we have calendars for that. So your phone is something that makes your life simpler. And that's the benefit you get. It just is like the world in your calendar, your information in your hand, in your pocket. So the why, mix the word up. The why this project is important is the main reason that if a phone company can market their phone to be the simplest way I can live my life, the most efficient way I can live my life, then I will buy it. And that's why personally, I like Apple products, because I first started with an iPhone. I was like, oh, it is kind of better than this like LG feature phone that had very little features that I thought I could just check my email on. But it's the way that captured me into that brand, into that, person behind it. So marketing the why is important. In terms of how to market it, there's so many ways that people now can learn about information, can bookmark it to come back to it later, and also to share it. So in marketing agencies, we talk about paid, owned, and earned media. Paid is when you advertise for to get your product or service or event out. Paid owned is when people start interacting with it, and earned is when they start sharing it because you bought their attention, their trust. So there's all these different forms, and paid is not necessarily paid, just putting it out there in the world, putting a poster up, putting it on Facebook, spreading it by email, WhatsApp, whatever it is that you use. It's kind of like paid media because you put your effort into it. You put, whether it's money or energy, you put yourself into it, and you got it out there to the world. So oftentimes the hole that we fall into, I still do this, is I wait for it to be perfect and then get it out there. But if you wait for it to be perfect, you're losing time, you're losing opportunity for people to learn about it, you're losing the opportunity cost of fulfilling that night in with other things, and also just time to spread the word in general. Last minute's fine, I'm a last minute person, but I'm still learning this as well, that if I get things out earlier, and I can have a lot of benefit, I can always add on top of it. Versus last minute, people don't really want to be bombarded with last minute things that they have to do. It's not a really great feeling either, like, oh my God, that's a great event. But at night, then you feel bad, and then you evoke these other kind of feelings that you may not want to. So getting it out early. You can even have save dates. If you're bringing someone in to speak, but you don't have the venue, you don't have the space. If you want to launch a school or a course, you can say coming soon, and everyone's going to say, ooh, what's to come? And they're going to stay tuned to you. They're going to check back in your social media. So that's always one. You don't have to wait till it's perfect again. Getting on Facebook is important. So there's a lot of event ticketing platforms, right? Like Eventbrite, or I'm not really sure if we in Malaysia we use Pix a lot. There's a lot of these. One thing we kind of lack is, which is great, because you get people to pay early, or you get people to lock it into their calendar. One thing that is missing is the social component. So don't forget to put it on social media as well, in places that people can invite people very easily. Facebook does a lot of marketing for you in a way. As you can probably notice, it's evolved a lot. And now it has all these different ways that are like reminders to tell your friend if you're going to go or not. Reminders coming up tomorrow, or even events you've not been invited to. You see once in a while, like, oh, all your friends are going to this event tonight near you. Heads up. So it does a lot of marketing for you that these other ticketing platforms cannot. Instagram, there's a lot of kind of more one-way marketing blasts. You can still do it. Twitter, I actually don't know how to leave anymore. I've never been a Twitter. Instagram or Snapchat. I'm not a Snapchatter either, but I know that is one that people pay attention to, and it's just kind of like a drop and see where it takes you kind of thing. And with the ticketing services, even if it's a free event, I would encourage you always to go on some ticketing kind of platform as well, even if it's free, because you get their commitment early on, and there's a lot of features for people to add to calendar, for instance. Or it is a paid event, offer early birds. Early birds are great. Everyone wants to save money. Or offer, sometimes you could do an early bird too. If it's something like a retreat or something that requires like a deposit or a booking or a minimum number of people for you to conduct your event or your retreat or your course, then early birds are great, especially like early birds, so you get early commitments. And people often are scared to go to something alone, right? So they wait to find someone to come with them, and they just forget about it. Or they do eventually come with someone, which is great. But I also always share in my event descriptions, like, come and mingle, meet new friends, step outside your comfort zone, just meet new people, because everyone inherently wants to, but is always nervous too, they don't know if it's worth their time, and because when it comes down to it, maybe they're tired but need a little uplift, but they don't know anyone going, they're a little too scared to go, so they won't. So I always kind of make it like, come and meet new people, it's super warm and friendly. But I also, what I found works, especially for early yoga events, is to have it just kind of you bring a friend. So if you bring a friend, you get 10% off. If you bring 2 friends, it's a better deal. And oftentimes, I mean, not to just make more money, but to get the commitment from people, they'll be like, oh, that is such a good deal. It's like if I'm paying, it's like I'm paying for 2 people, I might as well get a 3rd person for free, and I'll buy the ticket for free now and bring a friend, bring an extra friend, or open up to my colleagues that have wanted to try yoga or wanted to hear music but never have before, or too scared to. Like if I say, hey, free ticket, or it's super cheap, then it's much more a big commitment. So early commitment and form discounts are always great. So these are a lot of like kind of free things that you can do for marketing to encourage people to share. With a little bit of money, you can also do advertising. Facebook ads, I've been doing Facebook ads for 5 years for different clients or people or for events. They've become super kind of easy in a way for anyone to be able to boost something. Not necessarily that you'll, guarantee more people that come, but you can get it out there more. You can boost an event, you can target the right audience. Always make sure to target like language, age, and certain kind of sector you're interested in. But it's kind of a way that you can easily spread your word out in front of their face. Because in newsfeed ads or on your phone or Instagram ads, it's like in your face. It's not a flyer in the midst of a wall. It's right there. So you'll get interaction if it's the right audience. So always try to create value in your ad and your marketing as well. Sometimes, another example I've done that, try to catch people's eye and create value with that within those few seconds. Because it's only then people will continue reading and actually consider from there to attend or consider sharing or inviting others even if they're not going to go. Always capture and have a great headline, kind of like a 101 of marketing and advertising. And it could be with anything, like for myself, for yoga classes, I do a lot of pop-up classes, and I create themes for them just because I like to for fun. It's something that I like to do. So every week I'll have a theme that allows people to kind of know what to expect when they go and what they can achieve. It could be just like, oh, you're going to do yoga, your body's going to feel great, your mind's going to feel great after. But I also like to incorporate a theme to it. Like if we're doing inversions, like getting upside down, I'll say the headline of my photo or the class is like, are you living in fear, or are you getting over your fear? And that's just doing a handstand. And I say, no, we're all going to try handstands safely. Or when we're doing if we're doing like heart opening classes or arm classes that master focus, and we try an arm balance. Where you're bouncing around, I'll say, are you losing balance or reclaiming your balance? Something like that. Because everyone can relate, or better than that. Are you losing control or regaining balance? And that's just something that if yoga, something like yoga or music or any event can relate to the rest of your life and inspire the rest of your life. So I share that immediately, and that's when someone, also my network is a lot of startups, entrepreneurs, everyone's working all the time. But if they see that they can come for a 1-hour class and regain some peace and balance in themselves, that they will make that commitment to go at the very last minute. So sharing value, creating value, provoking a question maybe, or a thought that gets them to stop and think is a great way for marketing a new event. Flyers are great. I also wanted to say partnerships. So oftentimes you can have an event and you can also partner with other organizations, other restaurants, other initiatives, other entrepreneurs to uplift them as well and have it twofold. And different ways I do this is for different events, I'll ask my friends of like maybe vegan or vegan vegetarian restaurants or healthy cafes. Hey, do you want to partner with this? Like, I can't guarantee how many people will be there. Maybe 50, maybe 70. I'm not sure. But we can give you visibility. Like, hopefully people will be coming, and I'll be promoting your cafe, your restaurant, and how it fits into the healthy wellness, like balanced lifestyle. And also, like, people can try how good your foods are, your little bite-sized pieces. And it works out really well because when people think of your event, they'll also think of the really yummy Bliss ball or granola cookies they had right after it. And they're like, okay, I actually want to go check it out. But also, it gives you the opportunity to not only promote them with others to a new audience, but it's twofold. You can put flyers in, you can ask them to help you share what your event is that they're sponsoring. So basic concept of sponsorships. I often try to find like new businesses or friends that are starting out new initiatives because it's great visibility for them, it's great visibility for us, we can uplift each other in the same process. And it kind of goes along with, like, sometimes if you break it down, there's two ways to grow a business. You either get new traffic, you get new people to see what you're up to, or you just create new products and cross-sell them. So this is kind of a way to do that. Once you have a community, once you have people that come to your event, try to get their emails or their Facebook, become friends with them in a genuine way. No one wants to be spammed. Or these ticketing services, often you can create communities so that when you start an event, the event will be blasted to them in their email, but not in an intrusive way. It'll just be in their email or they'll get a notification on that site. And so cross-sell when you can, or promote the new event, the new service, the new product, but also for new traffic, new eyeballs, try to also partnership where you can create value. And be genuine as well. Often if you're trying to market yourself and push yourself out there, it can be seen as pushy, and that creates like this negative brand as well, this negative feel. I'm not sure how much time I have. Wow, time flies. Any questions? These are all just kind of like grassroots thing I've learned from trial and error and failures and successes. Often with no budget. So these are the things I've learned. But I want to hear from you guys, or if you have any questions, or
Did anybody have any questions? Yeah, just a quick one. Sorry. Thank you. This was a lot of help. So when we talk about the benefits for the end consumer or for the person coming to the event, when it's music or something happy that everybody loves, then it's pretty straightforward. But what about when people genuinely do not necessarily feel comfortable or want to come because it's change that's long term and it's going to be positive benefit for them, but it's so long term that it's very difficult for them to grasp.
What comes to my head is that's a great question. I think all these things too, if everyone knew the answer, we'd all be like millionaires. But it's not always about being millionaires, it's creating impact, right? And so we come back to that, like how we can create impact in the long run. You have to bring people back to what the benefit is they would get if they commit and they try. So basically helping them visualize who they can be, remembering who they can be. We often are so holed in who we are, and if we can let go of who we are to be the person we always wanted to be, that is something that I would buy into and I would give a try to. So that is something where the why or is more like maybe like who you can be. The vision of that is what you would want to market and basically like poke or tap the shoulder on someone. And like, remember who you always wanted to be? I can be there. Also for, I found too for commitment needed courses or schools or something new, often a free talk is really great at first. And it's kind of like the like seminar model, I guess, of like try something and then have them see if it's for them. Free talk is how I've done a bunch of my, gone through some courses myself and had some huge breakthroughs for myself in terms of spirituality or healing. So I didn't know anything about it before, and I was like, I'm just going to Spirit Talk to get this 2-hour overview of everything. And I was like, oh my God, I love what she's saying. And then I went on to do energy work with them and had some breakthroughs, and I would never have given it a try, spent the money on it, invested in myself, if I never went to the talk and felt the connection with her. It's okay if someone comes and they're not feeling it, but they might share with others. But also that in that free talk, you can also see like, is this niche, is this group of people who I want to work with, and if they have friends, like how they can maybe encourage their friends or what benefit they can get by sharing with others.
Thank you, Cynthia, for giving us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll be around for after that music events and super passionate.
Thank you, Cynthia, for giving us so much of insight and the amazing body of work that you're doing, and the feedback that you have generated from the work that you're doing at grassroots level. It's really amazing. You're so young, and still you have so much of feedback to give regarding every event. It's really amazing, and my compliments to you. And we need to learn more about it on one-to-one basis. That how do you conduct these events, and what more can be done with the people around here in Malaysia, and how the younger people are reacting to it. It's really, really a lot of body of work that you have just talked about. And again, I'm complimenting you, and thank you so much for giving us this time. Girls, please come over. We'll take a photograph, group photograph.
All the family dinners I've had. Can I have a picture as well? I don't know, I kind of want to stand there.
No, go ahead,
So
go ahead,
awkward
go
to
ahead.
pictures. So we can just move it. I don't want to remove it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to hear what you're saying.
My answers to
Signage of the billboard.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Very cool. No problem. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Dot. Thank you. Not great, but technical. Yeah. Amazing. Here, Lily. Oh, thank you. Not Lily. I raised him on it, but I tried wrong. Oh, right. Okay. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I do have a really good experience. Yeah. popular. I'll drop you an email here.
The audience is vast. We do everything from entertainment all the way to business. Definitely. Yeah. So have you been to Kenya? The market is very accepting right now.
Oh, okay. We need more money. We need more stuff.
I am very interested.
Oh, we're gonna do for you.
Yeah, you would have to one of the
Yeah. Of course, the host.
sanitation. We made hand sanitizers for women. The women make the hand sanitizers and they sell to young
Right.
in Nairobi, Kenya. Yes. Are you here? Yes. I'm also here with you. Oh, perfect. So yes, have I given you my card? No. Oh, sorry.
I just took you on the
All right. Yeah. Please get in touch because I'm very interested in what I'm always interested in reducing. I can show you the process.
Yes, my friend is speaking. That's great. I'm gonna try to catch her. Oh yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Oh,
You have to go out of your way.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I gotta run.
Hi. I didn't know. I'm pleased.
What happened is I was here my session was supposed to be yesterday, and then
I'm so happy.
well rested.
The session is 2:15.
Yeah, 2:15. Well, 2.
Yes, I'm happy.
I saw you yesterday.
I went to.
I literally went away.
But you also have to separate.
And I got here.
Yes. And actually, it's a lot of things and it's been overwhelming. And, you want to get to understand people and then. And I spent my time talking to people instead of preparing super well. I really, yeah, but I think go with the flow.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. I know the next two speakers.
Yes.
Your volunteer should be here in the next 3 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Nice.
In case you don't have an audience, please still do talk because
Yes,
you're going to be
yes.
putting it live.
Yeah, we like you.
Learn something, you do the best you can, and you try. And I think I'm much better at
format's going to be like and what the time limit is going to be. I
No,
didn't know anything.
it's your first time.
Yeah. It is my first time. So I just came and they went, hey, you have 2 minutes. And I was like, to do what?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, let me see. Oh, but I think that yours went well. And you didn't have the mosquito I had.
I did. It kept coming and like sitting on me the whole time.
No, because I was like, was it just me?
No, he came to me as well.
Because I was like, I did this because I was like, and I was like, no, keep your hands down.
Yeah. And the worst is when you're sitting behind and you know that you're still on camera and it's like, move away from me.
Oh, but I'm so happy that you're here because I saw a lot of things that we have in common.
Yeah, for sure. I have a session at 3:30, so
I'm
you have nothing
there.
else planned?
Yes, no. Actually, I just planned to do this until, and then I was like, okay, now.
Yeah, of course. Once you get done with your session, you're like, okay, now let's see what else.
Because and I found your name yesterday, and I took a picture, and I was like, I need this. So maybe that's why you're here.
Yeah. See? Yeah.
And it's so funny because I've seen that sometimes here there's just no audience.
Yeah.
And it actually suits me. No, but it's but I'm happy that doing the video.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of presentations that I didn't need, that I didn't get to see. So I still have some possibilities.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope people show up to the session. But they will.
Yeah. But it's okay. And, now I'm with Primo, and I met her the first day I was here.
Nice. How long are you staying?
I'm going Sunday, and I was supposed to come on Sunday, but I got to Helsinki, and I had some problems with my visa.
Oh no.
They thought I was a journalist.
Oh.
I'm attending conference, right?
Yeah.
So I applied for conference visa. I heard now that most people, tourist visa. But in my embassy, they're very keen on this conference. No. But then they thought I was a journalist, and I got stuck in Helsinki. So I was in Helsinki from Saturday to Tuesday, and it was snowing, and I packed for this weather. So I was like, oh no. So I was in the embassy like whole, and really expect. I'm a graphic designer. Yes, I work in media, but graphic design. I'm not a journalist.
Yeah, for next time, just leave it and tell them you're coming from home to supply those so much.
Yeah, I know. I've done my best.
Yeah.
For this. Hello. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Not me,
No.
I'm not speaking.
Hi. She's coming. She's just in here.
But I'm not sure.
She is Vemo.
But
You are Vemo?
Yes.
The both speakers are here. Yeah. So we short it, right?
It's up to you.
Either you.
I like me usually one way you speak it and other ones have to he feels like audience are there.
Okay. Alright.
But
otherwise
I'm trying to find my flashes
and then
so I can give you for
projector का आपको
All right. Thank you.
they are coordinates. We are there, but we think there is no audience. No, but there are so many audiences are listening to your audience. So let me start. Madam, let me start the session. We are only two speakers.
So what are my aims in life? No,
There are no question and suggestions. You divide your time.
Yeah, so like 30 minutes.
So 15 minutes.
Yeah, approximately 15.
Listen, we have 1 hour and only 2 speakers are there. So both of you speak 15 or like this. After 10 minutes, we will.
That's fine, I was actually worried I'd have to speak longer.
But then I'm going to ask you questions.
Yeah, it will be hard.
No. We'll find
a system that works. Yeah.
शुरू हुई थी अब बोलते ना तो
Nothing to the whole world.
It's up to you, either you sit or stand.
where is the idea or
Hello, we have Tina Sundstrup, a good speaker. We will hear a good speaker, so please come and tell us some informative. Must be informative.
I hope so. No. Yes. I'm Cynthia, and I'm a graphic designer. I'm from North region of the EU, and I'm proud to say that in Denmark we are big on ideas, we have ideas, and we are big on and in my country, we have 5 million people, so we're not many, but we have choice to make a huge impact. Me, as a graphic designer, I have clients, and some of them have a priority in sustainability, and some of them don't. I tend to find more customers that are eager to implement sustainability in their business. And I found out that women are actually faster and drivers towards sustainability more than men. And I'll come back to that later. In my company, it's called Wong. My vision is to collect tools to make sustainability easy for both corporate and startups, because I think that today corporates, they look for sustainable solutions. And when I say sustainable, it's in a broad way, and my aim are mostly green sustainability. And it mostly comes with technology. And I have this story to tell you, and I don't know if you recognize any of it from your own reality. But when I have clients, I deal with corporate companies, with female CEOs, I deal with companies that have male CEOs, I deal with startups that have mixed. And of course, enterprise. I have found
found out now, after 20 years of the business, that if I have a solution that has an element of sustainability, it can be a print solution, and I say, you can choose this solution, biodegradable and non-toxic, to a woman, CEO or startup. She'll tell me, oh wow, it's true? Oh, of course I'll pick that solution. Is it even possible? I didn't know that. It's fantastic. And I'm like, yeah, it's possible. And I have a lot of other tools for you to implement if you want to. And she would respond, great. And it's striking when I have a male CEO, the first thing he will ask me is, what the disadvantage for me? I'll tell him, no, there's not a disadvantage. I can only see that the economy is the same, and you don't make any pollution. So it's a good thing. And he'll say, okay, I have to think about it. And for me, that says, okay, this is a gender choice. Because I've seen it now too many times to say that this is just this time. So I've learned now, women are fast drivers. They want to implement sustainability in a broader way. They see pictures, they see the whole solution from a lot of angles, and men only see this one line. And of course, I respect men, so I just present it to them in another way. I say, let me just take care of this. I'll find the proper solution, and they let me choose. And for me, my impact is to have more sustainability in the world. So it's an obvious choice. And I wondered, okay, why is this? And as a graphic designer, you get taken in as a consultant, and I do side projects to my business. And one project especially is a side project we have in Roskilde, where I live. It's called Apple Monsters. We are 3 women eager to try different ways of making business. And this is a business that will take garden apples. In Denmark, we have so many apples, and they go to waste because of the garden owners. They don't have time to use it, they don't have time to pick it up, so it just needs to rot, or it goes to waste. So we thought we'll do an upcycling project, and now we're a huge success. We make food products and different drinks from these apples, and most of all, we make happiness, and we are able with this simple project to create a bond across generation and make people work together as in our community. And I think that we've shown with this project that it's possible to implement sustainable thinking in a broad sense. Upcycling is just one of it, but also making, we hope so, more social responsible places to work. And I can see that when we are 3 women, we are faster, we make more decisions towards sustainability than if we had, let's say, just one man on board. I know that we would have differences. So my point is that women are early adapters and fast when it comes to driving sustainability. They're the ones who do it, they're the ones who act, and they are the ones who wants to make this change fast. And that's my observation from Denmark. And I've come to the Women Economic Forum just to have more people to ask, do you see the same? Do you feel the same as me? Or is it just in Denmark? Or is it just me that's run into these personal perspective? So this allows me to get in touch with women. I'm so thankful for being here. Thank you, Hannah. You're the one who invited me. It's a great honor to be here, and it's a great forum to collect ideas, test ideas, try to hear what are your perspectives on my view. So I'm so happy to be here today, and I would like to hear.
Why do you think women are letting their options to change into what the ideas that you're able to give the market as a creative contributor?
I can't be sure, but I can. My perspective is that women. I saw a talk yesterday where they described that a man's brain has like boxes where things don't touch each other. It's like this box do this box do this, and in a woman's brain it's more of they're connected, and they in some projects I can see that they are really steps ahead because they want to make money, but they also want the people they employ to have a good life. They don't want to exploit them. They want them to have spare times to go home to their families. They want them to make money for themselves. They don't want just the fastest solution or the most profitable solution. They want, of course, to make money. I hope, and sometimes I'm also I can see that that's the problem for them because they tend to think the person so much that they do not make enough money, and that's where I come in. I say you need to make money because you need to be here tomorrow. I want you to do my products. I want you to make it because I think if we have more women in power, the solutions will be better for all humans. So I'm convinced that it's the way to think the process, not just in business, but also to all the other people in the process. I hope so. Are there any other questions?
No, I was actually wondering if sometimes there's a tendency, like you say, that it's been said through for many years that women that go off in business and get the high positions turn into men. In this sense that they dress differently and they have to behave differently. And I'm just wondering, I mean, that seemed to be true, and of course everyone is different, but there's been a tendency that you had to sort of dress and wear the suit and become less of a woman to look at. And I'm just wondering whether you also see those. I mean, you mean the women you're describing are the ones that have kept their feminine values, if you can say so, that are focused on process and maybe less focused on the process. So yeah, how do you meet both, or is it not true? Or, yeah.
can take a look at myself. I wear a black jacket, I wear black pants. If I have to go to a meeting with a man, I dress business-like because I know then I'm not questioned. If I need to have my vision, because every day I ask myself, how can I get more sustainable products in the world? What can I do to contribute to this? If I need to go to a meeting where I need to dress business-like to get a solution that is sustainable in a company that really doesn't interest or doesn't have that interest, I will do this because I know that's what get me what I want, and it's for a good purpose. So I think that I see a lot of women in the West that are not very feminine, but I don't see it as a problem. I see women get here, I can see you have dresses, you are dressed so beautiful, and it's another way of expressing yourself. In our culture, I think it's business for men. So when you enter that world, at some point, or in some places, you need just to fit in, and that's why they do it. But I think that I also see that the women I meet, they're not less eager to be women or less eager to drive sustainability, but in order to do that, they need to fit in some ways. I can see when we are in Apple, that's a very it's a simple product. You know, it's selling happiness and connection between people. Then we can do whatever we want. We're much more free. When I go out as a graphic designer, I sell design. I cannot dress. I need to look creative and get it on. Otherwise, I'm misunderstood. I'm misinterpreted. So it's. I think that women are anyways just trying to fit in to the world they see, and they see a world with a lot of men, and not, what do you say, in Denmark, we actually have this problem that there's not enough women on boards. They simply doesn't want to, because it's, I don't know if it's too much. There's a big discussion about why is this, and I think that women tend to think that they can have more power in other ways, and they need to concentrate about their family as well, and you can't do everything, so the prioritizing is again more circular, and circular thinking, I think, is it's a good thing about women, it's a strong thing about women, and I really want to empower women to stay in business and to earn money and do more sustainable products, because I can see from my perspective that they are the ones pushing the border, but some of them just stumble before they even get started because of the money issue. And actually that's been my great why to be to this conference. I've been asking, do you know why this is? And I've heard a lot about maybe it's fear, maybe it's, and I've got some different perspectives, and now I'm thinking, okay, I got wiser, maybe I can do something about this, because I want more women in business, and I want more sustainable products, and what can I do? I can try to empower women and empower business that thinks sustainability in as a priority. So I'm collecting tools. So if anybody heard about tools that has an aim to make green sustainability in a broad way, I need to hear about it. And please send me emails so I can put up a list, something like this, because I think we need to share these solutions and try to work together as much as possible, because and I think it's women that are drivers in this project. So I don't know. I think my time is up now. Is it true? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Vemo Ekua, Itawa. Most welcome. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Fine.
You're fine. My presentation is going on.
You want to?
Yeah, it's a PowerPoint presentation. So before we begin, my name is Remo. And people ask me what my name means, and I don't know what my name means. But I recently went to Tanzania, and I found out it's food.
Okay.
So it's given to pregnant women.
But don't think you have food.
I don't seem to have a lot of food, do I?
Which one? Which one is yours? कॉपी करिए क्या? Yes. Okay. Yes.
So I found out it's food that's given to pregnant women, made from bananas and beans and coconut milk. So I made a joke and said, like, I sustain and keep women strong in one of the hardest and trying times of their lives. So now if anyone asks me, I say, how is food? So before we begin, pieces of paper on this, and I have two tests for us. So the first one is sort of like a personality test that I first took on my journey to discovering sustainability and solution models for my business and myself as a person. I think in business and as an entrepreneur, the biggest thing is trying to understand yourself before you go forth to share what you want to with the rest of the world. And I think with that direction, it's easier to grow and it's easier to find direction and not get lost along the way. So this is, we're going to design a life real quick. I learned this from one of my life coaches in Nairobi, Michelle, who actually invited us here. And she's a great life coach. And the first thing that we did, because I'm a scatterbrain, so everything was everywhere. And so I had to design a life plan. So you take a piece of paper, and I'd like you to draw a straight line on the piece of paper. And the starting point should be when you were born. So on the far left, on the far left, you write your date of birth. In Kenya, you write from left to right. In other countries, you write from left to right to left. So whichever is the primary one in your country, you can write. So write your date of birth. Mine was 17th April, 1991. And at the end of the line, you write the date today. That's what 30, 1, 12, great. We lose track of time. Yeah.
Can you repeat that? Repeat. So on the left, you write the date of birth.
Yes.
And then
On the extreme left, write your date of birth, and at the end of the line on the right,
write, you write day to day.
Okay.
So designing a life map is quite a long process, but we're going to make it shorter. And then along your life map, think about the different stages of your life, that is from your childhood, when you were a toddler, so maybe from 0 to 4. And then think about from when you started having an opinion, quite a strong one. So after your terrible twos, and I don't know what the other ones are, then your crazy fights, you move on all the way to now you draw the next stage maybe between 4 and 12, so you became a teenager. And then you draw between 13 to 18. And then we're sort of just making a number line, right? And then 18 to now, right? Between 18 and now, if there's a stage as well, 18 to 30, 32, you can keep making it, but let's make the short version. Using myself as the guinea pig. The first stage for me as my life map, the most defining stage was at the age of 2, actually not at the age of 2, I was 4 months old, so I don't really remember much. My brother, my older brother was diagnosed with leukemia, and my mother spent most of her time taking care of him. And because it was stage 3, so it was quite difficult to spend more time with my mother, so I spent most time with the nanny. And my siblings tell me I was the nanny's baby for the longest time. Then my brother passed away when I was 2, and after that I got a new nanny who really mistreated me, and she wasn't feeding me, and I got really sick. And this meant that my parents had to ship me out of town to live with my aunt who lived in the village, because my mother was very depressed. She couldn't take care of me, and she was scared that I would die too. So this is the first stage of my life now. And then I turned 6, and I was brought back to live with my parents. The beautiful part about the first stage is my parents always came to visit me every weekend. So I never really knew that they weren't there. I just thought they were very busy and they would still come and spend time over the weekend. Then the next stage for me was learning my parents as a, I know I was a little bit grown up, and now I was spending time with my mom and my dad. I think they felt they had to compensate for the time they didn't spend with me. So it was beautiful, it was great. And then at the age of 12, I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, in front of me and in front of my parents, like, oh, she's gonna die. That was in my life now. So keep going, and a year later, I go after getting drugs and getting injections every month. I go for a review, and the new doctor says, oh, you don't have rheumatic fever anymore. You're fine. I was like, okay, well, you're not going to die anymore, so this is great. So I moved on, and I joined, I finished my primary school and joined the high school, which was great. I enjoyed high school. I loved math. It was mind-blowing. I could see the numbers. It was just exciting. And I was discovering myself as a girl, and I was a late bloomer. I remember everyone else had gotten their period, I hadn't. So I kept thinking, what is wrong with me? Am I fine? And then, yeah, that happened, and I was like, I'm sad that it's here because it's not fun. I wish I could feel more left out. So I finished my high school, and I was studying to become a doctor because my parents always told me, oh, you make such a great doctor. And I never really asked myself what it meant to be a doctor. So I kept studying, and my math was good, and my sciences were great. My languages were average. I ended up going to my language classes because I enjoyed sciences more. And I finished, and I was the second best student in my school, and I qualified for medicine. It was beautiful. I know. Everyone was excited. Oh, you're finally going to be a doctor. And then I joined the university and I realized, oh my God, I don't want to be a doctor. This is horrible. I have to touch dead things and look at blood all the time. This is boring. I don't want to be in a lab coat attire. And then, you know, we get to campus and we realize it's not 4 years, it's like 6 years, and it's like 2 years, and I'm like, oh my God, I'll finish when I'm old. I don't want to do that. This is not what I want to do. So I changed my course without telling my parents, and I joined the School of Public Health, so I can be a sort of doctor. So I can still wear a lab coat. So I still wear a lab coat. I finished my undergrad. It was great. And then I realized while I was in the university, I don't want to be employed. Because I had an internship with Amber, and it was beautiful. And everyone was just, oh wow, you work with Amber, that is great. And then being in Amber, I realized, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Because there's so many problems when I visit the community that in fact I picked the Maasai community to be one of the communities we work with. Because they have such a strong culture and it's so beautiful and I wanted to experience it. And I got there and I realized there's so many problems and no one wants to fix them. They just want to make excuses and say, oh, that's how they are. They don't want to use toilets, so just let them be. So this is why I decided to begin my entrepreneurship journey, because I wanted to find solutions. And I wanted to also guide women in a way that I wasn't guided, so that they can be strong and all-rounded and follow their passions. So in your free time, finish your life plan, and you will find out that it has really defined the person that you are and everything that you do. Right? Alright, so I'm going to quickly. So that's an assignment. I know in school we did like assignments, but this one's a fun one. It's a fun one. And when you're done, you can write a story and share the story with people around you and share it with your family, because this was my joy. When I did my life map, I realized that this is what I love and this is why I love it. Because we think we know what we love, but we don't really realize why we love it. So, thank you so much. So, the thing about the journey is the journey of entrepreneurship and the journey to business and your journey as a person, they're all interconnected. And there's this great quote that I'm learning to trust the journey. Even when I don't understand it, I find it very confusing. Yeah, I don't want to trust something that I don't understand. So I want us to understand the journey. Yeah, let's want a journey to understand what we don't understand. So today we understand the journey. We've already drawn our life map, and as an extension of it, you would mark out the milestones and point out the positives and the negatives, and find out how did the positives affect you. Did you become proud and say, oh my God, I'm the smartest in my class, so I'm better than everyone else. Those are my positives. And what are your negatives? Do they make you stronger? Do they make you weak? Do they make you doubt yourself? And then you reflect on the impact. That's basically reflection. So after you draw your life map, reflect on the positives, reflect on the negatives, and the impact that we've all had towards you. That's a little more reflective. It's trying to be fun and creative. So, straight to business. You have to find your dream team when you're running a team. So, if the person looks like you, I had this conversation with another the back yesterday. If the person is like you, they're not the right person. When I started my venture, Mama Venture, I did a personality test at some thing. It was a networking event. And I realized that I am more of a social person, the one who wants everyone to be happy. If someone's not working, I'm like, oh, it's okay. Oh, you're having a bad day. Oh, let's take a week off. I'll agree to work for you. And that wasn't working for me. My first venture failed because of that. And then I found this dynamic little girl called Energy, who is a doer. She is going to make everyone work in the sweetest way. And she's going to be the one doing the firing. And then I'm going to be the one doing the hugging when someone's firing. for me, that was the dream team. So how do you find your dream team? Go on a date. You have to go on a date with your potential partner, because this is your venture. You're going to do this for the rest of your life. I don't believe in people giving up. If you're failing, you have to just find out what is not working. But if you go on a date with this person, then you'll know what do I like about them and what don't I like about them. Can I live with them or can I not live with them? And if you can live with them, then this is the right person for you to do it. Cute little thing there called buffalo, deer, eagle, bear. How many have heard of those personalities? So it's a very quick one. And I'm asking to close. There's another document. We're going to pause on the PowerPoint presentation. And for me, this is what helped me define myself. And doing the whole test is quite long, but then it helps you realize, are you a buffalo? Are you a deer?
This one?
Yes.
This one?
Yes.
Maybe not.
It did. Okay.
Great.
So this is the 4 directions of the medicinal wheel, something like that. So there's all directions as north, south, east, and west, and all of them sort of have their own personality. So at the top we have the buffalo. This is a person who has take control of a task and quickly work through it towards the goal. And full of courage and endurance, they take risks and are good motivators of others. North people may be autocratic and are unaware of others' feelings, pushing them beyond their limits. So you can reflect on your team. Who's the buffalo? Who's the one who gets the things done, no matter whose feelings are hurt, who's sick? Oh, my laptop crashed. I don't care. You shouldn't ask for another laptop. We have deadlines. That's the person on your team. These people will get things running no matter what, and they are good at managing pressure. And you have the East Eagle, Yellow Spring, is that their colors? Actually, yeah. Long Game of Thrones fans, winter is coming. Those are the guys you don't want to see. They're scary. And then you get the yellow people. They're fun and happy, but these are the people of creativity. I think you're an eagle. Yeah. Tina's an eagle. People of creativity and innovation. They're visionaries of new ideas. They are expansive thinkers, easily able to see the big picture. These people, they lose track of the practical steps towards the vision, ignoring the details of what they do. Because they're so creative, their minds are just all over the place. And they know exactly how this product's supposed to look. They know the brand, they know the texture, they know everything. And then you're going to tell them, you can't find that texture in this country. You can't get that. If it's a dress, like, we don't have the fabric in Denmark. And like, I don't care. They're going to get it. And that's how it's going to look. We can't have cotton on that. It has to be silk. And this silk has from Persia. Those are the eagles. They fly high, but they're the visionaries, and they will make your brand beautiful. And you will be so proud of it because they see like 10 years ahead, and they'll get to see what you already can't see because their minds are just out of this world. And then we have the deer. I'm a deer. So these are people known to be collaborative and supportive. They're trusting, careful of other people's feelings, and concerned with creating positive work environments. Some people may admire themselves in interpersonal relationships, losing track of the task at hand, where they busy themselves saving others. So that's my problem. And that's my greatest asset, because I want to see everyone happy, but when you're running a business, you can't be a deer all the time. You have to have someone on your team who puts the deer at check. So when there's tough things, I will walk away. I literally just send an email to the buffalo and say, okay, you want to just deal with this? I'm going, I can't do this right now. So I'm the deer. And we have the bear as the bear. So these are people who are analytical, methodological, introspective. These are the people you want on your money. They are careful and pragmatic. They love the process. these people are based on the divisions of data and logic. They fall through to analysis paralysis. And they're unable to make decisions. This will make them stubborn and unwilling to accept new ideas. They know that this is how everything is supposed to go. And if it's out of that, they're like, no, it's not going to work because that's not what it is. It's not practical. And those people are best to deal with the process. These are the people you want to create your company strategy and keep, reminding. Yeah, they're good with the money. They're good with the organizing of the company. They're good with just keeping the files. These are the people you want to take care of your calendar of events because they'll never go out of it. Their box is their comfort zone. They're great when you need to pass ideas around the company. Just give them, this is what we have in mind, and they'll find how best to box it. So think about your company and the wheel and how to box everyone in their personality. And this is a great way of learning how to manage towards sustainability. Because when you have the dream team, then you have the dream company, and everyone keeps each other in check. And it's also normal to have more than one of those two. Like I'm a deer and I'm an eagle as well, which is crazy because I love people and I want everyone to be happy and my mind is free and wild. It's difficult. But my co-founder is a buffalo and she's a bear. So I found my date. Almost done before we go to the questions yet. Yeah, I have like 4 minutes. So yeah, think about your team, who's what and where do they best fit, and this really helps you organize your thoughts and helps you stay in track. You have to always stay in track with your business so you don't lose sight. This is a very loud hand. Yeah, know their strengths and weaknesses and learn how to complement. So we are always cloudy with the chance of failure. I love watching animation, so it's sort of like cloudy with the chance of failure. So success only comes when you begin to embrace your failures and admit your weaknesses. That's the only way you do it because it is from your failures that you're going to make your success. So when you fail, make sure you write it down. But that's how I did it. I failed and I created an entrepreneurship toolkit from my failure. So this is what I did wrong, and this is what I did right, and this is how it worked. So yeah, you have to always, once you have your dream team, all of this I am considering that you already have the big idea. Yeah, so we're not going to talk about the big idea. Then you conduct your risk analysis. I went to public health school, so this was one of the things that I did, risk management. And so how do you first identify the hazards of your business or your idea? Hazards in this case is not only technical, wise, also socially. How do you think your product is going to fail? How do you think your service is going to fail? When you address the hazards before, I think when they get there, like, already have the solution for that. That's what I did because in as much as I'm being the ego as my secondary personality, this means that I can see my big idea miles away. So how is it going to fail in 5-10 years? How is technology going to grow in 5-10 years? And how can I begin to incorporate this to be ready when we get there? And the good thing is when you identify the hazard, if you can't find the solution now, don't stress yourself about it. You just note it down, and as time goes, you'll find the solution. Decide who or what may be harmed and why. You might end up having to change your brand. You might end up having to change your team. You might end up changing how you structure things because times change, trends finish. So what happens when that comes? You're already ready with your solution. Risk analysis is very important for your business. Then you assess the risks and take action. That we've already spoken about. When you identify, you also assess and say, okay, this is the potential risk, I've already addressed it, take action, put it down, give you a bear to write it down and tell them, okay, so in 5 years or 1 year, we're going to address this in our meeting. If we can't fix it, we'll go to the next. So again, look at the bear. record the funding and keep monitoring and evaluating your things. Problem with most of us when we start our business, we have our business plan. But what happens is it's just another document. When you keep monitoring and evaluating and say, okay, this was the initial plan, this is what has changed when we did our risk analysis, and this is how we are going to address it. So it doesn't end up being an old document that you keep throwing away. It's a very important piece of document. So you need to stop talking and start doing. You have a team, you get your revenue model that works because you already knew this, and you did this when you did your risk analysis, you did this when you had your big idea. Design a budget that is feasible. This doesn't mean if you don't have the money, you shouldn't design the budget. Yeah? You design your grand budget, you design your achievable budget. And feel free to learn, ask and ask more. Look at people who are in the same industry as you. What I've learned about people is they're always so willing to share what they've done. And not everyone, because some people make this competition, but there's people who are willing to share. And these resources are everywhere. This forum is one of the places where I have seen people so willing to share. And as much as they're doing the same thing as you, they're like, oh, no, don't do that. Or I did this, you could do that. So learn and ask and find smart ways to fundraise. With my venture, I started with no money. I literally had nothing. So what I did is I found, number one, a location that was walking distance from my house. So I could walk there. And then I found a group of people who are already in a program who are willing to plug into my program. So I don't have to scout around for the women who would be there in our pilot stage. And then aside from that, then we were able to pool our resources, not financial, but also our mental resources. Look around the team, which women, we have women who came in to volunteer their skills. So who's what? So I ended up saving up on legal, because I had a lawyer in my team. I ended up saving up on doing the books, that's of the money that we didn't have, but expecting how much money we were going to do. So someone who was already doing that, and they were volunteering. So they were willing to do that. Then we had a photographer, and then we had a graphics designer. And all of this came together, and I didn't have to pay someone to do it because they were willing to do it. So look at smart ways of fundraising. And then also look at different ways to minimize your costs at the beginning. For me, that's one of the things that I do. When I start a project, it's at zero. We all have 0 shillings. All right? And then how do we start growing? If you can even make one product that would cost less than $1, so we've made one product that we can show when you walk into a room to pitch. No one to go and pitch and be like, oh, my idea is beautiful. That's how it looks. That's how it's going to look. And they're like, okay, great. Can I see it? Oh, no. We haven't. That's why I'm here to pitch. Trying to give you the money to make it. No. Trying to see how was the unit cost for making one product that's affordable for you. And then use that as a blueprint that you can use to walk around. And who knows? Now, when it comes to marketing and distribution, who else is marketing and distributing that you can piggyback on? That's what's startup. For me, what happens is we made a product, then after making the product, we went for a corporate who in their strategic plan had one of the things that we were doing. So we were making hand sanitizer. So who's thinking about reducing child deaths due to cholera and typhoid? Who is supporting education? Who is supporting women empowerment? And then we go to them and say, okay, you guys don't have the time to do this, but we already have the time to do it for you. We are fulfilling your 5-year strategy plan that you will never fulfill in 5 years because you have other things to do. So look at smart ways of doing that. And so finally, have a timeline with your goals. Analyze the goals. 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. So you have to keep going back because this is your idea. And anything can change along that timeline. So don't stop. Just keep going along that timeline. And then it is an opportunity for that. This is your resources. What resources do you have? These are your human resources, your financial resources. What networks do you know that you can plug into? What are your revenue models like? Can you find a model that works? Because the millionaires sometimes don't want us to catch up with them. So what do? You have to find a model that is going to slowly get you there. You're going to sneak up and say, like, hi, we're having coffee together because, it doesn't happen like that. and then find out what your partnerships are they sustainable, are they people you can collaborate with, and I think from there you can really, really move with the so, any questions? Anyone have a question?
Well, great presentation. I found it very useful. And it's so funny because during lunch I was sharing my own struggle with like building a team because I'm like a solopreneur. And so there are a lot of big ideas I have, so I'd call myself the eagle, right? So I have all the big ideas, I know which direction I want my company to go, but then I don't have a team, which I realize is my challenge or my gap, if you want to say. So what I want is a co-founder. I don't know, did you have a co-founder when you just started, or I'm trying to find a way how to find a co-founder basically at this stage in my business.
I didn't know she was going to be my co-founder. The first time I met her, I didn't like her at all.
What?
And yeah, we met, she was book raising. She was raising books. She was doing book raising. And different people to bring in their books and take to school. So I had a lot with her. And we connected. She was great. She was smart. But she wasn't like me. So I knew her, but I didn't know her on a deeper level. Actually, after the meeting, I told the person who introduced her that I don't know about this girl. She sends me emails like 3 a.m. I don't like it. And she sends me long emails. I think I went somewhere and someone said, if someone is not like you, then they are probably the best fit. And she came to mind because she's stuck. And she always started talking to me, but I said, you know what, I probably should meet her on another thing and just know more about her. So I went on a date and had coffee and asked her about her dreams and what she wanted to do, and she told me all these great ideas that she had. And I realized she's a beautiful person. She's not like me, but she's great. And so you have to go hunting. So you have to go speed dating with business professionals. I don't know where you can get that, but even at a place like this, you can get ideas on where to meet them. Think about people you went to school with. Think of people you interacted with. Think about someone that your friend keeps talking about, or, oh, I don't like that person. That might be the person for you. So it's speed dating for business. You have to go searching for a co-founder who's not like you. Because when they're like you, you do the same things and you never move. Yeah, so it's a journey. Okay. But also know your big idea. Because when you meet them, you want to tell them, this is what I have in mind. And they will buy into your passion. And that's the beauty about my co-founder. She is passionate about the idea as well. I didn't have to pitch it to her and keep pitching. When I told her, she was like, oh wow, okay, I'm definitely in. So, yeah.
Thank you.
And good luck. Alright. I think that's it.
I'm not sure. Did you tell us what your business was? I think I probably missed it.
Oh no, I did. So Mama Ventures is a social enterprise that's for profit that works with women. And what we do is we equip them with business and entrepreneurial skills, and also equip them with soft skills like time management and making sure they're good in customer service. So we look for women who are from the slums or who are from underprivileged backgrounds and take them through the journey in an 8-week curriculum that's led by women who are professionals in different fields. So what we do, we recruit the women, and then the women are trained. We have a manual that we can use. And then what happens is, while we're training the curators, we find the women and then brainstorm on what the problems are in their cohort. So in this case, the problem was there's a water shortage and there is no piping system in the slums, so they don't have clean water. So the children get sick a lot and they don't go to school, and the women don't don't get to do their little businesses. So they said, if we could find a way of making our kids okay, so we can continue working, that would be great. So then we said, best thing we can do is make hand sanitizers for the children. But then, this is a group of 10 women. How do you make a group of 10 women supply hand sanitizers to all the schools and all these children? And you know how the sales process is. So this is where we said, piggyback and say, okay, this corporate is making sure that children don't die from cholera and typhoid. So can we distribute, can we tell them that we're going to make the hand sanitizers and then they are going to buy and distribute in the schools that they already are in. So that's the model that we use, and then this is also transferable. So once the women, also while they're doing the making the hand sanitizers and all the other projects that they might have, we get the women to come on board and train them on soft skills. I said, oh, how's your family? What do you do? How's your husband? How's your relationship with him? How are your children? What are your challenges? Or do you have a bank account? Or do you have an email address? Oh, I'm going to open one for you. And then it's sort of like active mentorship and guidance.
You're developing the whole person.
Yes, while just, doing something. So I'm not, the other way of mentoring is coming to a group of women and tell them this is what you should do. And this is, so can we show them how to learn a new skill, but also keep them with skills that now they can transfer to other women. It's not so, now these women, these 10 women become the teachers. And if they meet another woman who's like, oh, I want to start, oh, I know that we have it, I can teach you on how to do it. Oh, I know this lady who can help you open a bank account, or who can help you go, the things that women in underprivileged backgrounds don't know, and it's not that they don't want to, it's they don't have access to these ideas out there. So that's the model that I'm using. And so when I'm done with one region, I don't go back to run another training session. I let the women do it. I just monitor and evaluate how are you doing and how can we grow.
And how is the funding of the women that come to do the course? How is that? How are they? I guess they're not paying themselves. Is that funded by the hand sanitation yourself?
So when we started, we didn't have any money. Yeah. I think I used my own 5,000 students to begin. So what I needed to do is they were already having a program running in the church. So I told them maybe I only need 2 hours of your time, and then I would find out what they're doing. So maybe one of them sells fruits, or another one has a shop. So I asked one of them to bring the drinks or to bring the fruits, and we get to just eat and chat. And then now with the 5,000 shares that I had to find out what the unit cost for making the hand, because we already had the idea. So is the 5,000 shares going to be enough to make something that we can show? So then I made the hand sanitizer. So bought 1 liter of the aloe vera gel, and then I went to our lab suppliers in town and bought some alcohol, and then bought essential oils, which are the most expensive. So we mixed it up together and we just put them in. We just found a few bottles that had been thrown away, and we just used that and said, okay, fine. Now with this, we can pitch. And so you go to corporate and they say, okay, hi Coca-Cola, how are you? You people package. You want your brand somewhere. We have the hand sanitizers. We can't package it because you have the facility. So you can get your logo on the package that you will make, and all you do is supply it to you. So the unit cost for making 1 hand sanitizer is 9 shillings. So from that, 9 shillings, 1 sanitizer is sold for 100 shillings to the corporate. We're making 91 shillings for 9 shillings. And so that's how it grows. And so that's the model that I use to make sure that you get the funding, because it's so difficult to go and ask for funding when you really don't have something that you've done, or you don't have the great big story, or you don't win a pitch competition, because someone else has mileage. So you have to, for me, it's about finding a solution, because I love this and I'm passionate, and I find a solution. Yeah. So when I do that, so once we make the profit, what happens is with the money that we make, and we have to find an algorithm. So So which ours was an 80-20 model. So because it's a home project, the 20% goes to the women, and we don't give it to them directly. They have to come up with an investment idea. So a micro banking idea. So we say, okay, you guys invested zero, you invested yourself in the resources. We're giving you 20% of this project so that you, as a group of 10 women, can come up with an idea where you can either put your money in a small investment, or you can start a farm, or you can continue with an idea that you have. And so the 80% now becomes capital for the next group of women. So that's the model that I used.
Thank you so much, you guys.